Hi everybody, it's Az here from Heel vs Babyface. Now then, Dungeons & Dragons Neverwinter has been a game I've been dying to test out for quite some time now, but haven't been able to. Thankfully, it's now gone into an open beta testing phase. So what that means is, all you have to do now is go to the website, I'll put the link somewhere here on the page, register, download the game client, and you can begin beta testing this today. Now, when I started, I was greeted by a plethora of races with which to choose from. We've got a half-orc, human, dwarf, halfling, tiefling, whatever, half-elf, elf, and also, what was seen to be very exciting indeed, a coming soon. There's also a decent amount of classes to choose from. We have a trickster rogue, which no doubt will be a very valiant and noble fighting machine. Okay, sarcasm started. Devoted cleric, who will be no doubt the healer. A control wizard, which I really like the sound of, especially because I play a warlock in the World of Warcraft, so this appealed to me greatly. We then had a great weapon fighter, very kind of basic translation of name there, for a big two-handed DPS melee class, and then a tank class, a guardian fighter with a beautiful big shield and sword. There was also the 6th coming soon class as well. Now, straight out of typical Dungeons & Dragons, you roll dice to decide what stats you get, but don't fret, because if you're not happy with what Lady Luck has dished out for you, then you can always hit the dice again and again and again until you get stats which are more amenable to your liking. Now, the depth of customization on your character is rather vast. There's loads of skin colours, loads of textures, loads of hair colours to choose from, so therefore it was a wee bit disappointing that the character models look so bland. But nevertheless, I did manage to find a customization which seemed to fit the idea that I was going for. Now, a little bit like Elder Scrolls, you can affiliate yourself with a deity. Have a look around, see what it is, whether it be sun, moon, earth, sky, this, that, the other. They each have a nice little description at the bottom, so you can choose something which you just think sounds appealing. Or like me, I chose something which I thought would fit my class that little bit better. On top of that, you can also choose where you were born and raised, and when I saw Baldur's Gate as an option, I simply couldn't resist. I was a big fan of the Baldur's Gate game. Now, when we start, it feels as if I was playing Path of Exile again, because we're on a desert island, or at least a beach, stranded, shipwrecked, and before we knew it, we're going to start engaging some undead. But I was pleasantly surprised to find, first of all, I had a selection of answers when I was being spoken to, but that was just it. I was being spoken to. All the text was voice acted as well. And I started what was going to be a very nice little tutorial that didn't feel clunky, and yet at the same time provided some very good and interesting information on how I needed to start playing my class. Even the hints which popped up on the screen were voice acted as well, in a quite ironic manner, which made me smile rather a lot. The beach serves as an area with which to get your opening gear. In my case, it was a rogue and a cracked orb, because the orb is going to be my weapon of choice, and it's also going to allow me to cast my nasty little spells. And I instantly, when I got into my first little foray of combat, instantly forgave the blandness of the character models, because the animations were superb. The spell animations were absolutely incredible, with a beautiful sound to go alongside them as well. I've sort of dimmed it a little bit in this video because I'm kind of spam buttoning and it sounds a little bit awful, but never mind. The actual arcane missiles, which I get as my opening ability, looked cool, hit strong, and the way that I flung them at my enemies really immersed me. When I went up a level, it dropped another spell onto my lap. This time, a channeled beam of frost, which slowed my enemies and eventually started to turn them into blocks of ice if they could survive the DPS long enough. Now, doing the actual tasks which you're bestowed, the quests, is not difficult. You can either have the Z button guiding you from area to area where you need to go, or you can disable it and have a little bit more freedom of movement. But the areas are quite confined to start with and pretty linear. On top of that though, the quests that they give you are pretty basic and easy to follow, so you'll never feel as if you're stranded. At level 3 I got my first WTF ability, which was one that could easily knock out an opponent in one strike. But of course, that sort of ability being powerful goes on a cooldown, and you have to rely on your other 2 spells which you got at level 1 and 2 to guide you through the rest of the combat until it becomes free once again. But it's not just damage which it throws at you. I was immediately taught when I went to this area how to use a blink type ability using a very subtle stamina bar which sits on top of that diamond. All I had to do was double tap a direction and then I would blink into that area and avoid attacks or conal areas which were being forced upon me by my enemies. I suddenly felt very, very connected indeed, and it all culminated in this final mini boss fight where I've been tested with all the abilities which I've got to date, and there we go, my channeling beam of frost can actually fully freeze an enemy should it be given time. When the boss tried to do a big hulking attack, you simply dodge out the way, get to a nice little distance and reapply your damages. Character models, totally forgiven. The gameplay to start with is already very, very engaging indeed. So, here is what I propose. Tonight, I'm going to log on to my twitch.tv/heel versus babyface, and I will do some live streaming of Dungeons and Dragons Neverwinter, and I really, really, really want you to be part of this as well. It's an interactive process. Next to the streaming window, there is a chat log. You can ask anything, any questions or queries to do with the game, WoW, heel versus babyface, the works. It's a great way for me to engage with my audience. So please, I've left the link blatantly on here. Go to twitch.tv and follow my streaming channel. Also, if you're part of my Twitter or Facebook following, then you'll automatically get posts telling you when I go live. So it's a great way to see when I start to stream. But most importantly, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like, comment and subscribe to my channel. We've done the Facebook and the Twitter thing as well as the twitch.tv/heel versus babyface thing. And I'll be back with some more stuff after I've looted this amazing looking chest very soon indeed. Take care everybody. Bye bye.